Thank you all for coming to our webinar. I'm going to give it about 30 seconds so that everyone can get in before I get started. Okay, I think I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I don't know if that was 30 seconds, but it seemed like it to me. So thank you all for joining us today. Welcome to the 2023 CE Sponsor Attendance Reporting webinar. My name is Kia Reed, and I am the Director of Continuing Education and Experience here at CFP Board. Also joining us is our product specialist for continuing education, Melissa Murphy, who will be answering some of the live questions posted in the Q&A box at the end of our presentation. And she will also briefly talk about some of the most common reporting errors and how to fix them. So today we're going to review briefly some of the sponsor terms and conditions concerning attendance and attendance reporting through the CE sponsor portal. Please note that you can submit questions throughout the webinar by using the Q&A feature. At the end of the formal presentation, we will address any pending questions. And if you need additional information, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at cesponsor@cfpboard.org, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. So let's get started with attendance reporting. So as per the CE sponsor terms and conditions, you are to upload attendance through your sponsor account, and you have to do it within 14 days of the program completion. You must use our attendance reporting template to report that CE. And you can also submit any requests for an extension within that 14-day attendance reporting period. You can send that to cereport@cfpboard.org if you are unable to meet that 14-day requirement. You're also required as the sponsor to maintain attendance reports or records for a minimum of 3 years in the form of the attendance reporting template. Please note that you are not to advise or otherwise encourage our CFP professionals to self-report their program completions. Instructions on how to report attendance can be found on our website, along with our updated attendance reporting template and our attendance reporting tip sheet. So all you have to do is go in and visit cfp.net/attendance. And that should get you to some of the questions or some of the most frequently asked questions regarding the attendance reporting. Again, you can also reach out to us at CE Sponsor or to ask any of your questions as well. Okay, if you haven't seen the new attendance reporting template, here it is. Our system requires the use of this attendance reporting template only, and so no other forms of Excel files or templates can be used. The things that we require on this are the CFP program ID, the program completion date, the CFP board ID of the attendees, and their first and last name. The middle initial is optional. We do encourage you not to add or remove any of the columns in that attendance reporting template, because this will most likely result in an error and the attendance will not be recorded. Social Security numbers, just wanted to share that with you, are no longer a valid means to identify the CFP professional. who completed your program, and a CFP professional can always retrieve their ID by logging into their CFP board account. Moving on to our next thing, we're going to talk about uploading your attendance. To do that, you just need to log into your CE sponsor account. Choose the CE attendance reporting profile from the menu on the left. You can now search previously reported attendance in addition to uploading new CE participation or attendance. Once you have your file all ready to go and you're ready to upload your attendance, all you have to do is click Upload New Batch, and this will give you the option to upload the file, and that way you'll be ready to go. And once you've clicked that button, uploading your attendance, the updated sponsor portal allows you to preview your reporting data before submitting. So Section 1 provides information on the number of cumulative hours and the rate at which you will be charged for reporting. Section 2 provides summary data on the batch. So we're talking total records, total hours being reported, number of valid or reportable hours, and invalid or non-reportable records. Section 3 there, right here, displays the programs for which you're reporting data and any error in their validation. And then Section 4 displays the attendance data. So any errors will be visible in the invalid reporting tab. You'll be able to see those. So moving on to validation and correction. So the program validations, they're checked on 3 levels. We have the program, the attendee identification, and the dates. Valid data will be reported, and then invalid data is included in your submission. For the displayed name, that's been one of the issues that we've been seeing over here at CFP Board. What we do is we check, or our system checks the CFP program ID only. It does not check the name of the person. So sometimes people transpose numbers, and it could be a valid ID. It just doesn't match the person who attended your session. So we encourage you to look at both the ID field, the CFP ID field, as well as the attendee name to make sure that they match. Okay. Again, we're stressing, please check for accuracy prior to submitting. We want you to make sure that your data is correct and valid before you submit your attendance report. As you know, the fees are non-refundable, but again, we just want to make sure that you're checking the attendance for making sure that it's correct and valid. Excuse me. Okay. You must submit, I just wanted to share this again, you must submit attendance for attendees to receive the CE credit hours. The attendees will receive an email indicating that CE hours have been credited to their account instantly. As soon as you upload, an email goes out to the folks that have attended your program, letting them know that their CE credit hours are in their account. Okay. And then you can also search your batches in case you want to go back and look at something. You can search by batch ID, which is the ID on your confirmation page. You can search by the invoice ID. You can also search by the program name. And later on this year, we're going to release a new way to search, which is searching by batch date. So that's going to be a great addition, I believe, for all of our sponsors. You can also do search by reported attendees. Any part of the program name you could put in that field. You can also search by their CFP board ID, their first or last name. You have a couple of options to be able to search for attendance there. Okay. Now we're going to talk about some of the common errors that we're seeing in attendance reporting. I'll turn this over to Melissa to discuss these errors and then how you can fix them. So Melissa, it's all up to you.
Great, thank you, Kia. So as Kia mentioned before, your attendance reporting upload must contain the CFP board ID, the date of the individual completed, the attendee CFP board ID, and again, a reminder that that 4-digit of the last SS social security number will result in a mismatch and error. So we no longer use that. The attendee last name and the attendee first name. Again, that middle name or a middle initial is optional. But I will tell you, missing information in any of the required fields will result in errors. Now, as of April 30th, 2023, sponsors are no longer able to report attendance for 2020 programs. Please contact us at cesponsor@cfpboard.org in the next 3 days if you still need to report attendance for 2022. After May 12th, we will no longer be able to assist you in reporting any attendance for 2022. When a sponsor completes the program application, they select an initial offering date, which is the first date the program will be offered to CFP professionals for CE credit. You will be unable to report attendance for a program until it has been reviewed by CFP board and approved. You are unable to report attendance for programs prior to the date that you have listed on the initial offering date. And also, if you listed an offering end date in your program application, you'll be unable to report attendance completion after the date that you have listed. An example, if the initial offering date of your program application lists 5/1/2023 and an offering end date of 5/31/2023, you will be unable to report attendance for the program for any months in 2023 other than May. Please note that an initial and end offering date are not the same as the program window. The program window represents for which year you are applying for CE credit. So a 1/1 of 2023 through 12/31/2023 represents the year of 2023, meaning your program cycle may be listed as 2023. So January 1st through December 31st, but the initial offering date and offering end date are the dates in which you can report attendance for the approved CE credit. Again, sponsors must use the attendance template, which can be found on our website at www.cfp.net/attendance. Any alterations of this attendance report template will result in errors. In this example, the CE sponsor listed a program name in the attendee middle name column. Again, you must leave the attendee middle name blank if you do not have a middle name or initial to place there, but do not replace that column with any other information. That will result in an error.
Okay, next we're going to talk about expanding personnel access. Okay. So although the CE sponsor account will continue to have one main sponsor contact. You can now add additional sponsor contacts. For example, an attendance reporter, someone from billing, or an alternate contact. An individual must have a personal CFP account in order to access the CE sponsor portal. CFP accounts should not be shared or transferred. The main sponsor contact can request additional contacts through email at cesponsor@cfpboard.org. Please include the person's full name, their CFP ID, and their roles. Again, for example, are they a reporter, a billing personnel, or some type of alternate contact? There are two ways to add an additional sponsor contact. You can have the individual create an account on the CFP board website, and then you can add them from your account, or you can email us again at cesponsor@cfpboard.org to request that that person be added. We're happy to do that for you. So just wanted to give you two references, which is our sponsor terms and conditions, as well as our attendance instructions, the template, and the tip sheet. Please feel free to review those at any time. They are important resources for you. This webinar will be available on our website within a week or so, so you can also access these reference points at that time. So we try to keep it short and brief for you, but now we're going to pause for a few minutes to answer any pending questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat, in the Q&A box. And we'll be happy to answer those during this webinar. And so we'll just give you a couple of minutes, maybe a minute or two to add your question in, and then we'll start reading and answering. So looking forward to it. Okay, Melissa, do you want to get started with the Q&A? I'll read and you can answer the questions. Is that good?
Okay, that sounds good.
The first question we have is, will the recording be sent to us after the meeting? And I can go ahead and answer that. We'll be posting it on our website here in the next week or so. And so it will be available to you that way. The same with we have a question about the slide deck, same thing. We can send out a copy of the slide deck to you. Just send us an email, but again, that will also be available on the website with the recording too. Okay, Melissa, here's your question. If a course or event is not approved, can we still advise students to attempt self-reporting?
Okay, great question. So as per the CFP terms and conditions for our CE sponsors, they are not to report or encourage any of the CFP professionals to self-report. You should be applying for approval for your programs and self-reporting through your CE sponsor portal.
One question is, you mentioned that we're not to advise certificates to self-report, but it is frequently the case that if we haven't reported on an attendee's behalf, it's because they haven't provided an accurate CFP ID to us. In that case, self-reporting would be the fastest way to rectify. Is it permissible under those circumstances?
It is not. Again, the CE terms and conditions specifically state that it is the responsibility of that sponsor to report the correct attendance for the program that has been completed. If you note after uploading your attendance that you have a mismatch, it is your responsibility to contact that attendee to get their correct CFP ID, and then you will report through your CE sponsor portal.
Another question is, after the 14 days, we send in an extension request. Do we wait for the approval before submitting?
Any requests we will respond to. So send those requests and we will approve and give you an extension.
What if we report outside of the 14-day window without an extension request? Will the system stop us?
It will not stop you. However, CFP, according to the CE sponsor terms and conditions, can suspend your sponsor account or any of your programs if we notice a pattern of not following procedure and reporting attendance within that 14 days.
Let's see. Are partial course hours allowed to be submitted? In the past, only full program hours were allowed.
That remains the case. An attendee must attend the entire program in order to receive the CE credits. CFP board does not provide partial credits.
Is there anywhere on the CFP board site to confirm a CFP board member's name and/or number or ID number if there's an error when we report?
So through your CE sponsor portal, you will upload the attendance, and then you always want to check for accuracy. You're looking for that attendee name against the name on the CFP board site. So if those don't mismatch, then you don't want to submit attendance. You need to contact that individual and get their correct CFP ID.
So are 2022 submissions not allowed?
Please contact us at cesponsor@cfpboard.org in the next 3 days. Again, reporting for any 2020 programs did end on April 30th of this year, so we will have to help you manually get that taken care of. After Friday, this Friday, you will no longer be able to report any attendance for 2020.
We have another question. What if a person has a last name with a hyphen?
You'll want to use that hyphen in their last name. You will notice that when you upload the attendance reporting template and check it against what is on the CFP board site, you'll see what we have. You can actually go in and edit it right there through your CE sponsor portal to adjust if needed.
Okay. There's another question. Can we change the offering dates after the program has been approved?
You may not. And you can contact CFP board through CE sponsor. If you are looking to extend that offering date, let's say you put in 5/1 and ending offering date of 5/1, but you decide to offer it again later in the year, then we can make that adjustment. But you cannot change the offering date prior to what you have put on your program application.
Another question, how long does it usually take for a CE course to be approved after the application has been submitted?
Sure. So CFP board, we do review all program applications in the order they are received, and we will review within 3 to 5 business days.
So another question is, what is the process if someone needs credit after the 14-day post-program window? will the credit still be accepted? Or is there an extra fee associated with that?
There's not an extra fee. We do ask that you report attendance as soon as you can if you miss that 14 days. But please note, if CFP board does see a pattern of attendance not being reported within 14 business days, we will contact you.
Okay. Here's another interesting question. So what other errors can cause an invalid message to appear prior to submission?
Okay, the primary ones have been shared in our presentation. If you're seeing something and can't figure it out, please send us, number one, the template that you were trying to upload and a snapshot of the error message that you are receiving.
There is a question, is there a deadline to submit registration for CE?
As far as I'm guessing, this has to be with the program application.
Mm-hmm. I would
Okay.
think so, yes.
So CFP board does charge $100 late fee for any programs that are submitted after that initial offering date that you have listed. So please keep that in mind.
Okay. Let's see. The reporting template, this is a question about the template. The reporting template automatically removes the number 0 at the beginning of the CFP board ID when they copy and paste on the template. Will it still be accepted when submitted?
It will. It will. Great question.
Great.
That only affected if you were using the SSN to identify your attendees. Because we don't accept that any longer, then yes, any information you put in that started with a 0 will be fine.
Okay. Another question is, in what circumstances would self-reporting be permissible?
Again, according to the CE terms and conditions, sponsors must report all attendance, and they are not to have CFP professionals self-report. So there is no instance where our CFP professionals should be self-reporting any of their program completions.
So I will add a little extra to that one. For self-reporting, the only time that we've seen it permissible is if your program is not registered. And then the CFP professional can self-report, but that means that your program was not approved by the CFP board. So that will be one instance where they could use the self-reporting mechanism to get their CE credits. If you accidentally include a person in an attendance reporting batch and now need to remove that CE credit, what's the best way to do that?
So you will, if an error was made and you reported an attendance for an attendee that was not present, please contact us at CE sponsor at cfpboard.org so we can remove that CE credit from the erroneous attendee. Then you will be responsible for uploading the correct attendance.
Okay. Let's see. If someone who did not attend a course but did not provide us their CFP ID until after the 14 days, do we still need to send a request?
Yes, please send a request.
Okay. Let's see. Is the reporting 14 business days or calendar days?
14 business days.
Great. So here's a question. If the CFP ID number does not match the name, will the system stop me from submitting?
It will not. It is you. your responsibility as the CE sponsor reporter to check that attendee name against the name on the CFP board account. If it does not match, do not push submit and report, or you will be charged an attendance fee for any inaccurate reports.
Here's another question about reporting. This person is saying that they can report credit for the same live program, or they've been told that they can report credit for the same live program offered on 2 different dates without filing for approval again. In that case, it may look like they're reporting after the 14 days. What should they do?
Again, you'll be fine. It's only when there's a pattern of a CE sponsor not reporting within attendance within the 14 days that we are going to contact you and advise you that it does need to be corrected, or your accounts or programs could be suspended.
Another question about the 2022 attendance. Can they still upload that?
Again, you will need to contact us at CE Sponsor because you are not able to currently report any attendance for 2022 that ended on April 30th. So you will need to contact us in the next 3 days to help you do that.
Another question is, if we go back and ask a CFP member for his or her ID and they are delayed, so they're past now the 14-day period, will we get a late fee charge of $100?
No, so it's not a late fee in order to upload attendance. That is if you're doing a program application and the initial offering date of that program is prior to you submitting that program application.
Okay. Great. Just wanted to confirm that the attendance reporting deadline is for the 2022 attendance. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone heard it's 2022, not a different number. Attendees sometimes at a presentation just sign off that they were there, but we don't need to test them on the materials presented. Is that correct? I hope I'm reading that question right, Melissa. If you don't get it, I'll try again.
Sure, I get it.
Okay.
Thanks, Kia. An attendee must attend the entire presentation in order to be reported for attendance and completion of a program. Your program may not have a quiz because it's a live, but live presentations are required to still have an assessment, and that is done in a Q&A. In fact, all the ways are listed in your CE sponsor terms and conditions appendix A on standards and requirements of your program. So yes, if an attendee logs off early, they should not be on that attendance report.
Where do you find out if your program has been approved?
Once a program has been reviewed by CFP board, we do send the main sponsor contact notification of what the results are of that review. A sponsor can also log into their CE sponsor portal under manage programs for a list of their active programs, their pending reviews, or pending payments.
So someone is asking if their program submission status is in needs re-review. Is there anything they should do, or do they just wait?
Great question. You will wait. Our committee is reviewing that program and will notify you as soon as that review is complete.
Melissa, do you know how to submit credits for the presenter?
So first you would put a presenter on your attendance reporting sheet. They will get attendance for the program itself. Then you will send an email to ce@cfpboard.org to report that they were an instructor for that course. Any instructors will receive an additional 2 credit hours for preparation.
So the next question is, if a customer has a problem or wants to push back on their partial hours, who do they contact?
That will be between you as the CE sponsor and the attendee. Again, it is in our policies and our agreement with you as sponsors. The attendees must attend an entire session. We don't give partial credits.
Is there a limit to the amount of credits someone can obtain for courses that are not pre-approved?
So all CFP professionals are required to complete 30 credit hours within their cycle. Our CE cycle runs for 2 years. 28 of those credits are general CE, and then 2 credit hours are for our ethics program.
There's another one about a name. So what if the name is O'Brien? So it has a comma. Do we include the comma?
That's a great question. You are not going to include that comma.
Okay, great. Let's see. Can we correct the name of the speaker or add documents once the initial CE application has been pushed through or when they applied?
You can add additional documentation if the initial offering date has not started. So if you need to make changes and it's for April 30th, but the program was on April 15th, you would not be able to add any additional information. But if that initial offering date is still in the future, then you can add any documentation as long as the program is still under review. Once it has been approved, you cannot make any changes.
Okay. If the method of delivery for our course is self-study and uses a combination of video lectures or assignments, how do we determine the correct study subtype between the traditional course or the short course? In other words, what factors go into the minute count?
So in your CE sponsor terms and conditions and the Appendix A, where it gives the standards and requirements of the self-study, it's going to list how we determine how many credit hours are going to be given for that program. So I would start there.
Okay. Can you report 2 or more different programs on one template?
That is a great question, and yes, you may. So you're going to notice when you go in to upload attendance, one of the levels is going to tell you which programs you have listed. So you can have more than one, you can have 3 or 4, and then list your attendees. Great question.
Okay. Is there a way to look up someone's CFP number?
Not for the CE sponsor. You must get that from the CFP professional. Again, they can retrieve their CFP ID if they don't know it by logging into their CFP board account.
Okay. Melissa, can you just clear it up one more time about the late fee? One of the questions is, how are we charged a late for going past the 14-day period? And I just wanted you to explain that we are not charging.
Exactly. We do not charge a late fee if you are not uploading attendance after that 14 days. However, you do need to notify us or request an extension if you know you're going to need an extra time to upload that attendance. Again, CFP board, if we notice a pattern that a CE sponsor is not uploading correct attendance within that 14 days, we will contact you and your CE sponsorship or programs could get suspended. So we don't want to see that happen.
How do we handle reporting for multi-class offerings of the same course during the year of approval?
Could you read that one again, Kia, please?
Sure. How do we handle reporting for the multiple class offerings of the same course?
I don't know that I have a clear understanding of what they're asking.
Okay. Yeah, we can come back to that one. I think the way they're asking it is if they have a course that's offered multiple times during the year.
Okay, in that case, You are responsible to report attendance within 14 days of the completion. So you may have a program that you run several times during the year, but if that program, for example, was offered on May 1st, you have attendees that completed, you have 14 days to report attendance for that time. If you offer it again on September 1st, again, you need to report attendance within 14 days of that completion.
Another question is, if we submit a program and have approval for the program window from the beginning of the year to the end, can we offer that course multiple times? So for example, having one seminar in June and then report within 14 days and then have another in August. So I think you just answered that, but
Correct.
we'll do it again.
But I do want to state something that they said is they said if they have an approved program, can they offer it between January 1st and December 31st? Your initial offering date must have been January 1st in order for you to be able to report it. Again, your program window that you choose in your program application, when it says 1 until 12/31 is for the year, so 2023, that's the window. But when you can offer the program and report attendance needs to be between the initial offering date that you have put down and the offering end date. Now, if you are putting in a program application in which you want to offer it for the entire year, or you're choosing for current and future years, you would leave that offering end date blank.
I will take this question. The question is, what if someone takes a course that is not pre-approved by a provider? Can they still obtain credit? So again, they would have to, in this instance, since it's non-registered CE, they would have to self-report and go through that process with the non-registered application. So yes, it can be done, but they do have to submit it or self-report it for non-registered CE. Here's another question, Melissa. My understanding is that if an instructor is teaching a CFP registered program or education program, what is the recommended way to submit the hours for that instructor?
Okay, and so we did have this question earlier.
Mm-hmm. You
would report attendance on your attendance template. You will add the instructor's name. Then you'll send an email to ce@cfpboard.org requesting additional credits, 2 credit hours for that instructor's preparation. Again, you would send that to ce@cfpboard.org.
We usually submit the PowerPoint slides with notes for review. What materials are permissible to submit for review? Is it PDF or what is it?
So that is up to you. I have had sponsors upload PDFs, Word, PowerPoint, but whatever information you can provide us, the quicker we will be at reviewing, so we don't have to go back and forth and ask you for more information. I will tell you the best thing that you can add to your program application is a detailed, timed agenda.
Another question about instructors. Do all instructors listed need to be a part of the seminar? For example, they may have 3 instructors listed, but only 2 are able to make it. Is that okay, or do they need to reapply with us for approval?
No, and that's okay. We have some programs that have been approved and are going to be given multiple times through the year and have different instructor. Your program application only allows you to list 3. I've seen some sponsors put 1 or 2 and then put various instructors. As long as your instructor abides by our outlined program and standards and requirements of being a subject expert, and the more detail is in your CE sponsor terms and conditions, you're good to go.
Okay. We have 2 more questions. So on the site, do we provide a chart with the costs for new programs? And we do. Do you have that link, Melissa? I know you have a.
Sure. So the list of fees is going to be found in your CE sponsor, CE terms and conditions. And that is also found on our website. Kia, can you go back one slide?
Sure.
There we go. The CE sponsor terms and conditions referenced is the first one.
Great. So if a course is offered across like a calendar, is another approval required for the course? So for example, the same program is offered in December, and then that January of the following year, 2 payments required for that course.
Yes, a program window is only for January 1st through December 31st. So if you intend to offer it again in 2024, you can either renew the program or list it as a new program application.
There is a question about, I have a program with 15 course modules offered every 4 weeks throughout the year. In this instance, should I have submitted the end date and left it blank, or is it okay to use the 12/31/23 date?
So if you put current year only, you may list an offering end date of 12/31/2023. If you do plan to offer it in the future years, again, you want to leave that blank.
Let's see. I think you just answered that. Are sponsors still going to be required to send ethics course survey results quarterly?
Yes, you can send those to CE sponsor at cfboard. Excuse me, I can't talk now, at cfpboard.org.
Right. There's another one. If you list someone as a secondary instructor, are they allowed to present the class alone if the primary instructor can no longer teach the class due to an emergency?
Yes. In short, yes.
How do you upload an additional attendee after the initial submission report was uploaded?
Okay, you would still do that through your CE sponsor account. You go to that CE sponsor profile and you would just upload the attendance as you did before.
That looks like that's all the questions that we have. If anyone wants to jump in and throw in another question, we have a few more minutes. And if not, I understand. So we'll wait maybe a minute or two and then see if there anything else comes through. So give us a second. My apologies. I have a few more questions that came in. So there's still a 14-day window for on-demand webcast. Since
Yes.
they can view it anytime.
Yes. So even though you have a program that might be offered many times or on demand throughout the year, you as a sponsor are required to report attendance within 14 days of the attendee completing that program.
Can we have different offering dates for the same program ID and just submit different batches to apply credits?
Absolutely. So you can have an approved course that you're going to offer multiple times through the year. Okay. And again, you may have, because of that, an attendance report for everyone that you offer. And that should be, because you'll want to report attendance within 14 days of an attendee completing that program.
Do we accept self-study programs?
We do. So self-study programs and our standards and requirements are listed in your CE sponsor terms and conditions in the Appendix A under self-study.
Make sure I don't have any more questions. It's like those are all of the questions that we have. Let me check one more time just to make sure. Sorry, Melissa, one more question came in.
Okay.
Do program instructors include panelists if the education is being delivered in the format of panel discussions?
If the panelist was the one who created the program and spent the time to do that, then you would report that. But if a panelist is just there to answer questions, they wouldn't get the additional credit hours for preparation.
I think that is all we have. So with that, Melissa, did you want to share any last thoughts, or are we good to go?
No, again, if you have any question that you'll think of later, please just email us at at cesponsor@cfpboard.org, and we'd be happy to answer those questions for you.
Okay, great. Thank you all for joining us. We had a lot of questions. I hope I got to most, if not all. Again, like Melissa said, if we forgot anything, please feel free to reach out to us at any time, and we're here and happy to answer any questions you have. We want this process to be as smooth and painless as possible, and I know sometimes with technology that is not always the case, but we are trying our best to make things a little bit better for you guys. So with that, I will conclude. We will again have this link up in the next week or so, and I can also email out the slides to folks. So thank you. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.